Warm greetings, everyone. Welcome back to Law Unfiltered, the official podcast series by Law Jurist. Here's a number to sit with for a second. Indian courts and tribunals are dealing with a backlog of commercial disputes that runs into lakhs of amount involved, and yet most businesses opt to sue each other. And sometimes they settle too as an afterthought, something which legal handles once the relationship has already broken down between the parties. Today's conversation is something built around a different idea. And what is that idea about? The idea is that commercial litigation done well is not damage control. It's a strategic tool that sits right next to your finance and risk teams. To talk more about what looks like in practice, from bank recovery actions to cross-border contracts, and of course to the messy overlap between the consumer law and the commercial litigation, I am joined by Advocate Piyush Tandon, who has worked across different forums of the country, including the Supreme Court, Delhi High Court, NCLT, DRT, RERA, on exactly these kind of matters. If I have to tell more about Sir is founder of Nyayapurti Foundation and Nyaya Karyashala. By profession, he is a lawyer, and by passion, he is an entrepreneur committed to making legal knowledge more accessible to everyone. Over the years, Sir had the privilege of working with several law firms, senior advocates, and legal professionals, including practitioners associated with UK and US legal system. He's also connected with lawyers and legal professionals across various countries across the globe, which has, of course, provided him with a broader perspective on how legal system works in different countries. Through Nyaya Karyashala, his vision has been to bridge the gap between legal education and practical exposure by creating opportunities for law students, which they are mostly deprived of. Alongside this, he also leads Nyayapurti Foundation, as I mentioned, which is a social initiative dedicated to legal awareness and access to justice. Through this foundation, Sir has assisted and guided more than 800 individuals and has facilitated solutions in over 500 legal matters, which of course has helped people understand and exercise their right. Sir, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Arpit, for a long introduction. Thank you. And thank you for this opportunity to
Thank you
have
so
me
much,
in
sir.
this podcast. So, majorly, it's a great opportunity for me to having myself in this particular podcast. And I have seen your earlier podcast too. These podcasts were very good. And thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you, sir. All right, sir. So I'll just tell you, we'll keep the session both in bilingual language, English and Hindi, which whatever is comfortable to us, both of us. And then I'll also tell, I keep mentioning this in all of my podcasts that who are the audiences of this podcast. So the ultimate purpose of having this conversation with people like you, what is the ultimate purpose of conducting these podcasts? So the viewers are of this podcast are of course law students and professionals from the legal domain, and not just legal domain, whoever is interested in this particular types of topic, those are of course welcome as viewers. And we'll try keeping the conversation in such a way that it gives some meaning to their life, and they can become a better leader in whatever they are doing. So we'll just start, sir. We'll start with the first segment to get to know more about yourself, to get to know how has your career been. A very short introductory kind of segment we'll have. Sir, so a very, I would say, a hypothetical question. If you had to describe your practice in one sentence to someone who is not from the law background, so not as a list of code. I don't want to you answer as a list of code or any sort of other stuff, but as a type of problem you have solved so far in your career. So how would you frame your profession to someone who doesn't know law?
Basically, I can tell them that it's an adventurous field. Majorly because have you seen Jurassic Park? Right,
Yes, yes,
where you have a kind of pressure that a dinosaur can come in, like come on your way, and it will be a very kind
right.
of a dangerous situation. So law is like that. Like
True.
you have your seniors, you have your colleagues, you have the judge sitting there, and it will be a pressure on you that how will you present your case in front of these people, right? Even if you are presenting your case in front of judges, आप judges के सामने अपना case present कर रहे हैं. So how he will judge you, correct? Secondly, if the case is of your senior, right? और आपको आर्ग्यू करना है तो आपका सीनियर कैसे आपको देखेगा आफ्टर योर आर्ग्यूमेंट, करेक्ट? एंड thirdly, the client,
Right.
the major person who is affected by your pleading or by your argument or by anything is the client.
Exactly.
क्लाइंट आपको देखते हैं कि आप कैसे उसके केस को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, चाहे क्लाइंट को कुछ भी ना पता हो, करेक्ट? लोग कहते हैं कि लीगल फील्ड क्या है, यू आर अर्निंग लैक्स, और एंड लॉ फील्ड तो बहुत बहुत इजी होगी, या इजी मनी अर्निंग है ऐसे करके. सो आई से टू देम, come to the field, come to the court, okay, come here and see only one kind of one case only. करेक्ट, एक केस आप देख के जाओ, तब आपको पता चलेगा कि बैकएंड में कितनी मेहनत होती है. Correct. For the people out there, like law, like even if I tell you about a law student or a simple student out there or a person having a vacation, correct. For them, it's a normal vacation. But for lawyers, why I'm telling you it's adventurous, because in your vacation time also you have work. You have a lot of work in the backend. You have to do many cases. You have to draft a lot of cases for the court when court gets open, right? So I have like listening a lot of questions from the people that vacations चलते कोर्ट कितनी ज़्यादा वो सब करके. So I tell them कि यार एडवेंचर है लिटिगेशन, वो कभी ख़त्म नहीं होता, आपको वेकेशन में भी काम करना पड़ता है. So I will suggest this as a adventure. That's all. Yes.
Adventure. So very perfectly articulated. And I believe client is the key. That's what I think
Yeah.
the professional ethics also of laws here. Perfect.
Yeah.
Sir, seeing your profile, you have moved across working with different forums and different offices. So you have, I would say, different rooms in a very short span of your career. So you have worked in chambers built around advocate on record who practice before the Supreme Court. You've also been a you have also worked with panel counsel practice for public sector banks, and you're also handling chambers including LCLT and tribunal work. So working around these kind of forums and these kind of offices, what mental shift did you had while moving between these environments?
Basically, if I tell you, I see law as a not even as a profession, but as a kind of a more over related to acting career. Why I'm saying acting career? Because in acting also you have to do a lot of films, right? You have to work for 1 2 years for a single film, right? The law career is same as like acting career. Why? Because law भी एक फिल्म की तरह ही है. आप एक जगह टिक के एक फिल्म में खाली काम करके आप उसको फाइनल करके फिर आपको मूव ऑन करना होता है. करेक्ट, यू हैव टू मूव ऑन विद एनीथिंग. मैंने सुना है कि जो एडवोकेट्स होते हैं वो एक सीनियर के साथ काम कर रहे हैं बहुत टाइम तक. ठीक है, इट्स गुड. आई एम नॉट डिनाइंग एनीथिंग, आई एम नॉट क्रिटिसाइजिंग एनीथिंग. इट्स वेरी गुड फॉर वर्किंग विद योर सीनियर, इट्स गुड. But if you are seeking more opportunities, because law is very wide, law is not narrow. Basically, there are a lot of things in law. So you have to know everything in law. Correct. What my belief is, अगर आप जितना समझ सकते हो लोगों को, जो जो आपका पर्टिकुलर इंटरेस्ट है उसको जितना वाइडर कर सकते हो आप, उतना आपके लिए अच्छा है. उसमें फिर मेंटल स्टेट आप कह सकते हो कि थोड़ा बहुत काम आ सकता है, बट एज अ एक्टर यू हैव टू सी दैट व्हाट इज योर पाथ एंड व्हाट विल गिव यू अ काइंड ऑफ फ्रूटफुल करियर. ओके, जो आपको अच्छे से आगे ले जा सकता है. सो दैट्स द रीजन आई बिलीव तभी मैंने इतना स्विच किया. बट स्विच भी इंटेंशनली भी था, साथ के साथ ये था कि मैं कैसे अपना करियर पाथ बनाऊं. एंड एवरी लॉयर हैज टू मेक हिज ब्लू प्रिंट. आई सजेस्ट एवरी वन, एवरी जूनियर, मेक अ ब्लू प्रिंट. व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इन द फ्यूचर, मेक अ पाथ. करेक्ट, आप उस पाथ के हिसाब से चलो कि आपको करना क्या है. ठीक है, आप डाइसी हो गई नहीं कभी. फिर आपके पास ब्लूप्रिंट हो गया ना तो आप डाइसी नहीं. सो मेंटल तो कुछ नहीं है. मेजरली उसको मैं एज अ फिल्म ही देखता हूँ. फिल्म
Correct.
करियर देखता हूँ लॉ का, कि फिल्म करियर के जरा देखो, आप आपने एक फिल्म करी, आप मूव ऑन करके दूसरी फिल्म करो. दैट्स इट. ऐसा.
Correct, correct, correct. So, of course, that is the key. I think law profession may you don't know where you will end up the next day working with. Maybe you're not this senior or any other law
Correct.
firm, or maybe you're jobless for a month. You are doing your independent job. So I believe
Yes.
versatile hona is the key in this profession,
Yes.
so that
Yes. Yes.
wherever you move, you be perfect in that.
Yes.
All right. So, sir, just a follow-up question on this. So, we are keeping the conversation around commercial litigation. I would like to know a very basic distinction. So, the commercial litigation practice that you do for a bank, how does it fundamentally differs from a commercial litigation in the constitutional, or I would say in the context of a writ petition? How does that differentiate between each other?
Majorly, there's a difference between a civil case or and a commercial case. Commercial case is like, even if you see the Commercial Courts Act, okay, It is built over to have a speedy disposal of cases. Definitely. In civil case, the case can be moreover स्ट्रेच हो सकता है एक 3 साल के लिए 4 साल के लिए, बट अगर केस आपका कमर्शियल कोर्ट के अंदर जाता है तो उसमें एक टाइमलाइन होती है जिसमें आपको केस बहुत जल्दी डिस्पोज होता है. आपका केस जैसे अगर अगर एज अ एग्जांपल कोई केस 10 आवर ले रहा है, 10 आवर्स, ओके, तो कमर्शियल में वो 5 आवर्स लेगा. एग्जाम्पल एज अ आवर टाइम एग्जाम्पल, तो कमर्शियल में हाफ हो जाता है. एग्जाम्पल इफ देर इज अ WS टाइम विच इज 30 days, कमर्शियल में वो 15 हो जाएगा. और कमर्शियल में क्या है, आपको हर अपनी जितनी भी आपकी डेट्स होंगी उसमें डिनायल और उसका आपको देना पड़ता है. अगर आप नहीं दोगे तो वो आपका जो डिफेंस होगा अगले पर्सन का वो स्ट्राइक आउट हो जाएगा. और कमर्शियल में ये भी अच्छी बात है, अगर आपको कमर्शियल कोर्ट में पहले जाना है तो पहले आपको प्री इंस्टीट्यूशन मीडिएशन में जाना पड़ेगा, सेक्शन 12A के अंदर, तो कमर्शियल कोर्ट है. तो उसके अंदर एक तरह से एडवांटेज मिल जाता है पार्टी को. जैसे एग्जाम्पल कोई बैंक है, बैंक क्या करता है, वो पहले जाएगा अपना मीडिएशन सेंटर थ्रू DLA से, उसमें प्री इंस्टीट्यूशन मीडिएशन का आपका फॉर्म भरेगा. उसके अंदर जो DLA से होगा वो प्री इंस्टीट्यूशन मीडिएशन के उसमें नोटिस भेजेगी ऑपोजिट पार्टी को. वो ऑपोजिट पार्टी क्या करेगी, वो उस नोटिस से आएगी, ठीक है. और अगर वो उसको 2 डेट्स मिलेगी, अगर वो 2 डेट्स में नहीं आती देन केस विल मूव टू कमर्शियल कोर्ट. लेकिन आपको एडवांटेज मिल गया, अगर वो आ जाती है तो केस वहीं आपका सेटल होगा. सो इट्स अ स्पीडी डिस्पोजल वाली चीज, इसलिए कमर्शियल कोर्ट्स लाए गए और इसलिए कमर्शियल कोर्ट्स एक्ट की भी जरूरत पड़ी हमें, राइट. इसलिए
All right,
फास्ट होता है.
perfect.
और ये डिफरेंस है कि स्पीडी डिस्पोजल होता है,
Hmm.
CPC से भी ज्यादा डिस्पोजल होता है इसमें कमर्शियल कोर्ट में.
Okay, so disposal rate I would say थोड़ा fast है इसमें as
यस
compared to civil
यस
cases.
करेक्ट.
And how would you also distinguish between commercial and criminal aspect?
Basically, if I tell you about criminal is very different, बिकॉज क्रिमिनल में क्या होता है, आपका एविडेंसेस होते हैं ऑन द लाइन. इसमें भी एविडेंसेस होते हैं, ऐसी बात नहीं है. बट क्रिमिनल में नेचर में क्या है, आपका पुलिस इंक्लूड हो जाती है, पुलिस आपकी आ जाएगी इसमें. कमर्शियल में पुलिस कब आएगी, कमर्शियल में भी एक स्टेज होता है पुलिस का. कमर्शियल में पुलिस कब आएगी, जब आपके केस में कोई रिसीवर अपॉइंट होता है. रिसीवर मतलब लोकल कमिश्नर अपॉइंट होता है. मैं भी लोकल कमिश्नर हुआ हूँ अपॉइंट, ठीक है. एक बारी यूपी का केस था, उसमें लोकल कमिश्नर अपॉइंट हुआ था कमर्शियल कोर्ट के थ्रू. तो उसमें तब पुलिस की आपको हेल्प चाहिए, तो वो भी एज अ सिक्योरिटी आपकी, दैट्स इट. कि अगर आप किसी पर्सन के वहां जा रहे हो रेड मारने, उस पर्टिकुलर ऑब्जेक्ट को सीज करवाने या पैसे उससे निकलवाने, ठीक है, तो तब आपको पुलिस की नीड होती है. बट क्रिमिनल में आपको पुलिस की नीड होती है. दैट्स वाई आई विल नॉट क्रिटिसाइज एनी काइंड ऑफ एजेंसी और पुलिस, बट इट विल टेक टाइम थ्रू द एजेंसीज. सो क्रिमिनल में ज़्यादा टाइम लग जाता है एविडेंसेस को क्रिएट करने में, और आप किसी पर्सन को नॉर्मली गिल्टी भी करार नहीं कर सकते, ठीक है. प्रूवन इनोसेंस का आपका पूरा एक सिनारियो होता है, वो भी आप डायरेक्टली उसको एज अ गिल्टी नहीं कर सकते. बट कमर्शियल कोर्ट में ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. कमर्शियल में द ऑपोजिट पार्टी इज नॉट गिल्टी, इज नॉट अ एक्यूज्ड, इट्स अ रिस्पोंडेंट, राइट. तो उसमें आप डायरेक्ट कोई कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज नहीं होते, तो इसलिए थोड़ा फास्ट चलता है. बट क्रिमिनल में क्या है, डायरेक्ट कॉन्सिक्वेंस था कि आप किसी पर्सन को घोषित करना है कि भैया ये क्रिमिनल है, तो उसमें बहुत टाइम लगता है. दैट्स द मेजर डिफरेंस बिटवीन अ कमर्शियल लिटिगेशन एंड अ क्रिमिनल लिटिगेशन. टाइम, सब में टाइम
All right,
का एक सिनेरियो
ठीक
है.
है.
यस
Correct, makes sense. Okay, so we have sort of got the crux of what commercial litigation and its intersection with civil and criminal law works. Let's move to a different segment. Now, the segment, sir, I would like to talk about is the business of recovery litigation. So, the very first question in that segment. So, when a bank's recovery team decides to initiate a Section 138 complaint for a defaulted account, there are usually three roads open. The first one is, of course, a 138 complaint. Second one is
यस
DRT recovery suit, and
यस.
third one I would say SURFACE action. Or maybe if the
कमर्शियल कोर्ट
bank
एक्शन.
wants exactly, they can also apart from commercial, they can also include go to IBC processes if they meet the threshold given by the
Insolvency,
IBC. Exactly.
these things are from big companies. Yes.
Right. So they can also move towards that. So from
Yes.
your experience as a commercial lawyer, what actually drives that choice? So let's say I am a bank, I'm a part of a legal team of a bank. I come across these kind of situation. Which approach, going to which kind of approach, I would say section 138 complaint or going to DRT recovery suit or filing a suit under SURFACE. Which option, how do I decide which option should I approach?
Majorly, if I tell you my a kind of my advice or a suggestion, people chose 138. Why people chose 138? Because it's the easiest way. 15, 30, 15. Okay. 15 days of notice, 30 days of wait, then 15 days of everything. Like it compares into 15, 30, 15. And in Delhi, if you see in Delhi, Delhi has a kind of a hub to 138 case. There are two states which have fast recovery in 138 cases. Majorly, first is Delhi and second is Ghaziabad. Ghaziabad courts. Okay. Ghaziabad courts are very fast in 138. They do in a speedy disposal thing. Right. And the second one in Delhi, it becoming fast because of evening courts. They are also doing evening courts. Secondly, they are also doing lok adalats. In lok adalat also 138 cases get settled, right? And उसके वजह से I prefer कि 138 में आप जाओ for the bank also or for the any kind of company also. Secondly, you talked about this IBC, right? IBC is for those companies which are having a kind of a large operation, correct? Which have having a crore, which have RP, correct? रेजोल्यूशन जो कहते हैं आरपी होता है, आरपी होता है उसके अंदर आरपीआर होता है, ये सब चीजें जिसमें इंडिकेट होती है, जिसमें क्या होता है आपका, जिसमें कमेटी बैठती है पूरी, ओके, डिपार्टमेंटल इंक्वायरी होती है, उस पर नीड होता है कि आप आईबीसी में जाओ, जिनमें ऑपरेशन ही बहुत आपके हार्श और कॉम्प्लेक्स होते हैं. फॉर दीज पीपल आर आईबीसी, फॉर इवन द बैंक्स ऑल्सो. बैंक्स बेसिकली बैंक्स हैव देयर लॉ ऑफिसर्स. ओके, लॉ ऑफिसर्स बनते हैं. आप प्राइवेट सेक्टर में जाओगे, जैसे मैंने प्राइवेट सेक्टर में रिप्रेजेंट कर रखा है बैंक्स को, यूनियन बैंक ऑफ इंडिया और स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया को. सो उसमें क्या होता है, उनमें लॉ ऑफिसर्स होते हैं. वो लॉ ऑफिसर्स क्या करते हैं, फर्म्स को पैनल देते हैं, बैंकिंग पैनल्स होते हैं, वो पैनल्स मिलते हैं और वो लॉ ऑफिसर्स ही आपको केसेस देते हैं. वो कुछ नहीं करते, बैंक्स डायरेक्ट कुछ नहीं करता. बैंक्स हायर द पीपल आउटसाइड, बैंक्स गिव द पैनल, they give panels to the advocates, then advocates get cases from those law officers जो बैंक में होते हैं, वो आपको एज अ अथॉरिटी देते हैं. और अलग से एआर भी होते हैं, जिनको बोलते हैं अपना रिप्रेजेंटेटिव होते हैं, बैंक के ऑथराइज रिप्रेजेंटेटिव होते हैं. वो एज अ कंप्लेनेंट, क्योंकि बैंक सीधा कंप्लेनेंट, बैंक इज आर्टिफिशियल पर्सन, करेक्ट. सो बैंक नीड अ पर्सन हु साइंस एंड डू एवरीथिंग एज अ कंप्लेनेंट इन द केस. तो बैंक क्या करता है, मैं आपको प्रोसीजर भी साथ में समझा रहा हूँ. तो बैंक क्या करता है, वो उस पर्टिकुलर पर्सन को अथॉरिटी दे देगा कि आप हमारी तरफ से एज अ कंप्लेनेंट पेश होगे. वो कोई एडवोकेट भी हो सकता है, वो कोई नॉर्मल पर्सन भी हो सकता है. मेजरली वो एडवोकेट ही हायर करते हैं. एआर एडवोकेट होना चाहिए, क्योंकि उसको नॉलेज है कि क्या करना है, आगे क्या नहीं करना. उसके लिए अलग से एक पैनल एडवोकेट होता है. जैसे हमने भी बहुत सारे एआर्स को असिस्ट करा है, हम ही उनकी तरफ से करते थे, बट साइन वाइन एआर का होता था, एफिडेविट एआर का होता था. जो आपकी एनआई की कंप्लेंट बनेगी वो भी आपकी एआर के साइन से ही होगी, ठीक है. एज अ कंप्लेनेंट ही एआर होगा, मतलब बैंक है एआर एग्जाम, ठीक है. तो एआर ये सब कुछ करेगा और केसेस आगे फिर एज अ सिंपल कंप्लेनेंट वो केस चलेगा. तो बैंक जो होते हैं वो इसी थ्रू जाता है, थ्रू कोर्ट. आईबीसी कंपनीज जाती हैं जिनके बिग ऑपरेशंस होते हैं. और थर्ड कौन सा बोला था आपने, सॉरी?
SARFAESI Act.
SARFAESI. SARFAESI Act is something which is more complex in nature. It consists any property, okay, property also, and it is have a kind of a property. Why I'm saying property? Because it works in housing loans, correct, which are having 1 crore, 2 crore of amount, housing loans. Basically, it works in housing loans. That's why SARFAESI is there. Like borrower has taken any kind of loan for anything which is very huge in amount, like housing loan हो गया, या फिर कार लोन तो छोटा हो गया उसके हिसाब से, कोई प्रॉपर्टी के ऊपर लोन हो गया, बड़ी प्रॉपर्टी के ऊपर, तो तब लोग SARFAESI में जाते हैं, करेक्ट. तो इन चीजों का अपना अलग अलग है, बट इसमें क्या है, सबसे इजिएस्ट वे 138, दैट्स इट. इसलिए 138 की लिटिगेशन बहुत होती है. रोज 200 300 केसेस लगते हैं कोर्ट में. एक कोर्ट में कम से कम 50 केस लग रहे हैं. तो ये फास्टेस्ट वे है. और अगर इसमें ये भी चीज है कि अगर अमाउंट कम है तो वो लोक अदालत में भेज देंगे उसको, और लोक अदालत में सेटल होना है, दैट्स इट. यस.
I think I can relate to this. So I think every law student, of course, I have experienced this. The very first internship that we did after our first semester, तो कुछ केस सुनाई दे या ना सुनाई दे, 138 NI Act was common everywhere. And still, coming to fourth year again, we see lot of cases. So I agree that Section 138 is the usual approach that everyone follows.
Actually, I have someone. I will not take name of her.
Huh.
She's a JMFC.
Okay.
She's a known to me. Now she's in another court. She's in Rohini court right now. So she was a NI Act. So I had a meeting with her. I just gone to the court and had a meeting in her chamber. So she was like, "Yeah, it's very hectic. It's very hectic." But I have to
Hmm.
sign all the papers. There are bank cases. There are a lot of bank cases. Like there are more than 500 pages which I sign
Correct.
daily. Oh, NI
Correct.
Act.
Sahi.
People say that district judge has a lot of cases, high court has a lot of cases, and even supreme court has a lot of cases, but they doesn't see NI court which have a lot
Yeah.
of cases. Whole Delhi is coming here and filing cases in NI Act. NI has a lot of flooded cases.
Hmm.
Judges are very fed up of these things, very fed up,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
Hmm.
Sir, I can. I think you also mentioned about Delhi courts being fast because of the reason that they've also started keeping the court in the evening time. So I think I can relate to this. I was interning in Delhi itself. I saw evening court functioning in the Saket district court. So can you also tell? I mean, has all the district courts adopted to evening courts, or is
Yes,
just
all the
growing?
district court, all
All
district
right.
court, not only Saket, all district
Hmm.
courts, right?
Okay, ठीक है.
All
That
district.
what of course makes Delhi
Yes,
the hub
yes,
of litigation.
yes.
Okay. So again, sir, I want you, without of course naming any party that you have represented in any case, I want, in your experience, tell me, do home buyer creditors, so two creditors in sort, I would say, home buyer creditor and financial creditor. So are they both treated equally, or I would say, does the structure of insolvency and bankruptcy code still favors institutional creditors?
Basically, if I tell you about home buyer creditors,
Yes.
we have like I will be naming the bank also. There's a
Yeah.
PNB Housing, correct? So PNB Housing is little harsh. Why they are harsh? They are harsh on the respondents. Basically, I can say them as an accused person because if a person has taken a kind of housing loan, it's very harsh for them because in housing loan they give lakh of rupees, like they give like 50 lakhs, 30 lakhs, they take 30 lakhs loan, or they even uh, आधा लोन वो चुका भी देते हैं. तब भी क्या होता है, अगर वो पूरा पूरा लोन नहीं चुकाए ना, तो उसके अंदर क्या होता है, वो बैंक उनका घर ले लेगा, घर सीज कर देगा. सो इफ आई टेल यू अबाउट द हाउसिंग क्रिएटर, courts are very fast for housing creators, for these person, and they even incline towards about housing. Even an individual creator is something which are majorly which are declined by the court, if I tell you in a normal manner, but I will not criticize that part. But there is a more favor to the housing creators.
So you would say that there is a more favor to the housing creditors. All
Yeah.
right. So, sir, India has been, I would say, moving very fast in the domain of mediation. So, I would say, and arbitration, of course, and India has been trying to make itself as an arbitration friendly jurisdiction. So, if I give an example, of course, the enactment of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act, the Mediation Act, and again, we have got amendment, I think, last to last year in the Mediation Act itself, Arbitration Act itself, which also talk about emergency arbitration. So these intentions of the parliament show that India has been trying to make itself shift its towards to intention towards mediation ADR rather than resorting to disputes in nature. So you, as an experienced person who has worked across all the matters, what do you actually believe? Is this sort of something has become only paperwork, or is this actually has been effective into resolving disputes and reducing the burden of court?
If I tell you in a one manner, you will be getting it. Though if I tell you that I am also doing masters in arbitration and conciliation act, but the scene is that if I see the arbitration other than the courts, arbitration in India are not that fast. I'm criticizing is why I'm criticizing it, because I have seen the arbitration going for 2 years. going for 3 years, as same as like a court case. Basically, it's upon the parties. Arbitration is a system. We will take arbitration as a system, but it's upon the party how parties take it seriously or how parties make it fast for them to resolve the matter or to dilute the matter in a particular time span. Correct. Arbitration also have less adjournments, like in a simple court. Correct. Why we are saying that arbitration can be the future? It has the potential to get a kind of speedy disposal other than the normal courts, and it can be a major big thing for companies. Majorly companies are adding a clause of arbitration in their agreements, because they also know that even in arbitration also you have to give money, you have to give the amount of arbitration to the arbitrator. Okay, and the amount will be a large amount considering the quantum of claim you are asking against the respondent. Correct. Arbitration also have the money to give. In court, there are less money to give because you know the amount of court fees, you know the amount of papers which will be there, you know the amount of basically if there is a matter related to probate matter or the matter is related to property matter. So you know that you have to give the amount related to the property as a stamp duty or a court fees. Correct. But in arbitration, that court fees can be less. Firstly, I am criticizing the arbitration. After that, I will be praising it. Uh, I will be telling you the backdrop of arbitration first. Arbitration is related to the quantum of claim. Like the quantum of claim is 1 crore. So you have to give some lakhs to the arbitrator who are indicating arbitration tribunal. Arbitrator is a person who can be an advocate, who can be a retired judge. And these people can allocate the fees that we will take this amount of money of against your quantum of claim. Okay. And you have to give the arbitration fees to us. There was a matter of Akash Byju's. Okay, I will not naming my party. So Akash Byju's has a mediation, has a arbitration. So there was one person who are appointed by the High Court as an arbitrator. So we have to give the money to the arbitrator to function his role, right? But in court, the matter will be, you can say the matter will go for 4 5 years or something, but the amount of money you are giving to the court is less. Correct, as a lawyer. But as a litigant in arbitration, you have to give the money what the arbitrator is asking you, or a court is quoting that money. You don't have the choice. But in litigation, you have the choice to cut the money. But in arbitration, you don't have the choice. You have to give the money. The first backfall of arbitration is this, and the only backfall is this. If I tell you the praising about the arbitration is fast if the parties are also inclined towards the speedy disposal. Right. Secondly, arbitration doesn't create any kind of dispute because arbitrator has a flexible thing. He will be listening to both the parties and he will be applying the mind. Correct. And the judge is also applying the mind, but judge has a lot of burden and pressure on him. Arbitration is very chill, if I tell you. Okay. And thirdly, arbitration can be moreover resolved in a proper manner if the parties are moreover clear in front of the tribunal. क्योंकि आर्बिट्रेशन में क्या होता है, हर एक जो डेट होती है आपकी आर्ग्यूमेंट्स वाली होती है. हर डेट में आपको आर्ग्यू करना है. कोई ऐसा नहीं है कि पहले आपको सबमिट करना है या फिर आपको टाइम मिलेगा फिर होगा. उसमें क्या होता है, अगर स्पीडली बोलेंगे यू हैव टू फाइल अ डब्ल्यूएस, you have to file a written submission, then you have to go for this, then you have to go for this. It's very fast, but it also depends on the party. And all over
All right.
mediation is also the same. There are mediation
Correct.
centers also, which are building in the Delhi premises. There is Nandanagari, one mediation center is there, and it's very fast, and
All
it
right.
is creating less burden to the courts also.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
Perfect, sir. So we'll move to a different segment, which is about regulation by the institutions, for example, RBI. So again, by reading your profile, I've got to know you have worked on RBI complaint MSME due diligence for a fintech creditor exposure of about 28 crore amount. So over the last couple of years, sir, RBI has tightened sort of strictened its digital lending and co-lending norms quite significantly. So let's say I don't want you to name any transaction as sort of, but in your experience, let's say where do you see disputes actually emerge once a regulatory framework like this, for example, of a regulation by RBI, changes midway while litigation is going on. So let's say litigation is going on based on a particular circular issued by RBI, but the very next moment, while the litigation is pending, the RBI has changed that circular. The RBI has changed the regulation in the manner they were operating. So, how does this change affect a dispute which is pending?
Basically, if I tell you, I will not normally I will not telling RBI or creating RBI a kind of a party which is doing a lot of things and all. Majorly, if you see, it creates a kind of a difficulty for the litigant because the circular is a government of India, right? RBI is a body of government of India, so it creates a direct pressure on the court also that how court will decide the matter. Because if the opposite party give that circular to the court, there's a change in the scenario and there's a change in any kind of documentation, it will create more over pressure to the court to decide the matter. Secondly, about 28 crore matter and that kind of stuff, majorly a lot of companies and a lot of banks had created a space where they are hiring a firm. The firm, what firm do, they will give a legal opinion to them about what. That example, I'm a company, I'm a XYZ company, have to take a kind of a 50 crore loan from this ABC bank. Correct. So ABC bank will ask us, okay, you have to take loan from us. Okay. Firstly, we want a kind of a legal opinion from a legal firm that you are a person which is majorly safe for us, or else we are getting a kind of assurance, legal assurance that we can give loan to you. Okay. So the bank, so the company XYZ company, which has no kind of background in law and anything, they will hire a legal firm or they will hire a lawyer. Example, I have hired by there is some company I have hired as a legal opinion person as a firm. I have given a legal opinion to them, not to them, to the bank, that this company is safer. And even earlier also they have taken loans from different banks and they have a good transaction and CIBIL and everything. And they are like paying back loans in a particular time manner. So then the bank, assured by your legal opinion, they give loan to the bank, to the company, to the XYZ company. So this space has created by the companies and by the particular bank. So they get a assurance. Secondly, there is one more thing. Many persons in example, there is a company named Deloitte, right? Deloitte is working as a you can say not a outsourcing company, but as a company which majorly hire a firm or a law firm in which they take legal opinions by the law firm before taking any kind of step in any kind of contract with a company or any kind of business contract with any other company. That's why you have also listened about, you have also heard about the corporate culture in which there are contract drafting, there are same. That's why the companies hire lawyers to draft contracts for them, to see that there is any kind of laguna, there is kind of any kind of fraud can happen with us. So they take a preventive measure. That's why the law is important there. Correct. So
Right.
that's the thing of 28 crore thing was that the companies had hired me as to take the legal opinion of mine, and I have given some legal opinions to the company and the bank, in behalf on behalf of the company, to the bank that this company is safer and you can give the loan to the company. That's all. That's all.
All right. Perfect. Perfect. All right, sir. Sir, due diligence is something which is used as a tool to prevent disputes that might happen. So, from your work on credit exposure due diligence, what is the red flag with that lawyers routinely catch, but that business teams don't do? So, let's say a due diligence aspect has to be ascertained. What does lawyer think as compared to, I would say, a business team? Where do business teams lack in identifying that, and what do lawyers do different that they are, of course, in a better position to ascertain what is due diligence condition?
Basically, if I tell you about due diligence now, so there are some points. There are many vendors, many companies.
Hmm.
I will say vendors.
Right.
They are very pathetic in nature, that they create some clauses which are very dangerous in depth for the company or for the bank, that create a kind of a more disputes for these people. And for such reason, we can assume the depth, that there is a point that the company that company will be liable. Example, there is an agreement, and the point A says that company will be liable for such XYZ situation if it occurs. So what situation? Why this situation is put it? Or else this
Hmm.
situation can create a dispute in future, or else it will take that company in that situation, that company can get a loss because of that particular point. So lawyer identify that point. He will tell the company or a bank which has hired him for such things, that this point is not beneficial for us. So tell the vendor or another opposite party to refine this point, and then come back to us. Then we will re-identify if that point is beneficial for us, or else this point will create a dispute for us. So there are
Okay.
some depth of the point that create major disputes in the future.
All right.
So those depth points has to be identified by the lawyer only,
Hmm.
because we can't say if I tell you in normal manner now. So there are many pathetic vendors which apply their mind, and they do many kind of clever things to indicate the companies or the banks to get fouled in coming future. So that's why they need lawyers to identify those fouls, those things.
Hmm.
Yes.
I'll just add one point on this. I think it's my personal experience. So I was not very much into laws till my class 12. I decided to do law, pursue law, a very later point of time in my career. Now, before doing law, I would say I'm telling this fact on the point that while lawyers are needed everywhere, I used to think that okay, kuch nahi kiya, so person will do law. But now coming to having, I mean, 3.5 years of experience in law, or considering 1 year drop after class 12 for preparing CLAT and all, considering 4.5 year experience studying law, exploring law, doing internships and all, now I see कि law हर जगह, every aspect of your life. I mean, सुबह उठने से लेके शाम की सोने तक, wherever you go, law is involved. And I believe as if society progresses, development होगा, कितनी भी development हो, कहीं dispute हो, कहीं progression हो, everywhere lawyers are required. So I believe this is something again, अब जो बंदा profession में है, be it a student or lawyer, वही समझ सकता है.
Majorly, if I tell you, there is one my professor in my law college. So he told me that advocate runs the country. If you see many of our leaders, those were advocates. Correct.
Absolutely.
Even in outside India also,
Hmm.
advocates run the country, because we know how things work, what can be the consequences in future.
Correct.
And even every field has advocates. Every field, medical, aviation, education, every field has advocates. Without
Hmm.
advocates, nothing can happen. Right.
Correct.
Majorly, there are many people who take advantage of this by becoming, like, by earning, you can say, ghaple ka paisa and all. But if you seek law as a project path, as a career path to uplift your country, that what I am doing right now, like to having a global exposure and connected with global people out there. So I have seen that they are creating a kind of a space for their country. But I am here and I also seek other people to do that, to create your country to become in a global stage. Example, there's a JSEP Cup. I don't know if you know. There's a JSEP Cup, which is
Yes, of course.
that thing is a international moot court competition.
Yes,
So
yes.
JSEP Cup is there in every country, and every country is taking part in it. But I never seen any kind of Indian university or Indian student is taking part in JSEP Cup. Correct. So we
Uh,
have to be very potential and very vigilant about international exposures, and people will
yeah,
know us even if we are putting our mind in international exposures now and creating a kind of a, not only politicians do that, but lawyers can also do that to uplift themselves, to uplift the people outside their role parameters, and the people who are there like law students, advocates. We can tell them to get the exposure of international law, international UN, right? So uplift yourself, make your country proud. That thing
correct.
we can do, correct, and
Absolutely.
then we can become a good advocate. What I believe.
Absolutely, absolutely correct. I would like to, so we'll move to the last segment of the podcast, the last few questions. थोड़ा बात करते हैं about intersection of commercial law and consumer law. So, I would say Consumer Protection Act 2019 gave consumer commissions very wide powers as compared to the 1986 Act. So, if I may point out a few, product liability, unfair trade practices, even a degree of class action like representation. So, at what point does a consumer dispute, in your view, actually changes its way and it becomes a commercial dispute? In what sense does a consumer dispute becomes a commercial dispute?
Majorly, if I tell you about the consumer code, right? I have done a lot of cases of consumer code by my own cases. Like I have a lot of my own cases. Like as an advocate, you can see that if a company is doing bad with you, but as a lawyer, you know that this is bad, and you have the power to file a case against that company, right? So I have filed a lot of complaints about many companies, not many companies, but few companies with my friends also, and even my one of my friend got a kind of a response also in a good manner by the consumer court against the Cadbury. So yeah. So majorly, if I tell you about consumer court, yes, consumer court has some span of extension of their powers. But if the matter is very harsh in the sense the matter has a kind of a claim of more than a kind of X amount of money, then commercial court get a kind of a less exposed and kind of get less power for that. For that, you have commercial courts, correct? Because
All right, all
commercial
right.
courts has more power than a that consumer court. I'm not telling that. I'm not saying that the judges in commercial court or judges in consumer court has less power in relate or something like. But the commercial court has ADJ.
Hmm.
Okay, the commercial courts have district judges. They have moral power. They can arrest also. They have power to arrest a person. They can tell the police to arrest that person. But consumer court can't do that.
Okay.
Correct. There's a one major difference. Second major difference is that consumer court can give a notice to the party, but can can libel the party to come. They
Hmm.
can't pressure the party to come. The
Okay.
party has the power to go to other court, but
Hmm.
commercial that consumer court can't do that. But
Okay.
if the person is not coming to commercial court, the court has the power to strike out his defense, or the
Makes
court has
sense.
the power to give him the summon
Correct.
or give
Correct.
him the warrant. Correct. Consumer court doesn't have the power to give the warrant.
Hmm.
Correct. So second difference is this, and third difference is the applicability of mind.
All right.
Like consumer code is something which is, I don't want to say such thing, but it's very slow. Slowly,
Hmm.
slowly, they if the party is coming, okay. If the party is not coming, okay. No issues. But in commercial court, the judges are very harsh. They
Hmm.
create that if the party is not coming, give him the summon. If party is not coming in the second day, third day, give him a summon. Then give him a warrant.
Hmm.
Or else strike out his defense. But in
Okay.
consumer court, they will give okay. The party is not coming, okay, fine. What we can do? We can do nothing.
Hmm.
Correct.
ठीक है.
So
All
the
right.
difference of power between consumer court and the commercial court is very different. It's very different. Jameen Asman ka
Hmm.
farak.
ठीक
Right.
है. Correct. Makes sense. All right, sir. So we'll talk about the last, I would say, two questions, and let's talk about the next decade of dispute resolution and something about AI, I would say. So again, we all are, it is a not a fact to be denied. Everyone in the legal profession, or not just legal profession, in all the professions, legal tech and AI tools are something that has become part and parcel of our lives. So in law profession, we use it for research, drafting, and even predicting what will be the outcome of a case. So, in a high volume practice area, of examples like banking recovery litigation, where a lot of work involves drafting, research, and other stuffs. Where do you see, as a person who is practicing law, where do you see these kind of tools, these kind of AI tools, genuinely change how the work is being done, or do you think that this hype is way ahead of the reality?
The second thing I can say in a proper manner,
Right.
but the scenario is that we lawyers are forgot how to draft. To be honest, I am telling you by my experience also. I will not say that I know how to draft everything. Even I have learned drafting everything in my college itself because that time AI was not there. Correct. But we lawyers, the new lawyers who are coming, the new generation is coming in the field. So they are not into the traditional drafting. They don't know. Sorry to say, but they don't know how to draft traditionally because AI is doing everything, and there is the major backdrop of the AI.
Hmm.
I have seen some cases. Even Supreme Court has some cases to see that there are a lot of AI that has came and that destroyed many things. Correct. But as a AI, if you see the AI in an international practice, like example, use of LexisNexis, use of the AI feature of LexisNexis or any of the app or something, they are built by the international people out there, right? So they know how to use that. But as an Indian student or an Indian lawyer, that AI is not made for us because the language is different. The way of language we speak, as even English also, UK, US, is very different. So AI only work in a that systematic manner that the AI uses those languages in our draft. So there are many lacunas, there are many differences that can be created if we use AI as an Indian. Correct. So this is the second backdrop. But in AI, do cases in a faster manner. Earlier, if we are working, if we are doing a traditional draft or something, traditionally, not use of any kind of AI or something, it will take something like 2 days, 2 days to draft anything.
Hmm.
But जब से AI आया है, it will take like a half of the day just to give the command to the AI that you have to draft this, adding such things to the AI, typing such things to the AI. That's it. It created a kind of a speed for us to draft things, but it also create a kind of a difficulty and the dangerous situation for us. Even I have also faced a dangerous situation in one of my case. If I tell you, in a divorce case also, that I have told the AI that make a prayer of it, and it doesn't added the particular relief what I have to take from the court, and the judges just asked me where the relief. So I have to say that relief is in the pleading, but yes, I have also added in the prayer. So judge was like, where is the relief? There is no relief in the prayer you have added. I was like, sorry, my lords, I can what I can do is this. I can file an application of amendment under Order 6 to 17. Just please accept it. So he was like, okay, okay, okay. So he was also knowing that you have started through AI. You have started the prayer
Hmm.
through AI. So we can't do anything in that. Correct. And
I think again,
Sachinaran,
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
reason
please,
I'm
please.
not using AI that much now. I
Hmm.
only
Nahi,
use
nahi.
AI to just to take the reference of the cases that this cases is good or even get a summary of the cases. That's it. No
Correct.
drafting from AI. If I tell
I
you.
believe, yeah. I mean, it's ज़्यादा less of course नहीं रखना चाहिए पे, and even if you do that, cross check करना is very important. And I think this
Yes.
tendency of every law student or even professionals, you must be knowing that this tendency of not cross checking the stuff that AI generate is not just something which is seen at the lower level. I was seeing a pleading argument in the Supreme Court, senior advocate, couple Sibbal, and the judge was having a, but they both were having a very light conversation about advocates using fictional cases. So if you ask ChatGPT, give me a case letter. It might also say that Piyush versus Arpit. So Chat GPT, it can generate
And
citation,
can do
fictional
anything.
citation as well.
It's a only
It can
data.
do. Exactly. And again, AI though is something I believe part and parcel. Why I said part and parcel? Because let's say you are using Claude, the free subscription of Claude, और सुबह सुबह ही Claude का limit reach हो गया, so you feel like दिन भर अब काम नहीं हो सकता.
हाँ.
This is a penetration level of
Dependency.
actually
Dependency. Right.
dependency. Again,
It will
dependency.
create a dependency for you to on the AI, right? And
Exactly.
what I also believe that you can use Gemini also because Gemini is directly
Uh-huh.
connected to Google. So Google will give you such kind of moreover the correct responses and the correct authentic information.
N number
But
of tools.
even right now also I can say that Chat GPT is also doing good. It is also updating his data and everything because it also gives good citations, the better citations, right? And the
Right.
authentic citations.
Correct.
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 But you have to find also in the particular matter. Like example, how I use in the particular AI.
Hmm.
Firstly, I search on the chat GPT. I'm telling you the kind of a crap. Firstly, I search on the chat GPT about I write the preposition, right? I had to make a preposition to make it easy for the chat GPT to search for the better responses, right? So I give him a preposition. I tell them find citation for the same or find the cases for the same. I firstly, if there is a citation, I copy the citation. I search the citation in the Google. If Google is showing something like Loctopus or something with the same citation with the same name which ChatGPT has given to me, then I take the citation to the Manupatra or the SCC, right? Then search that citation on that particular browser or the particular Manupatra or SCC. If that SCC or Manupatra gives me the same judgment which I want from the ChatGPT to give or ChatGPT has given to me already, then I
Hmm.
check the paragraphs. The paragraphs are same to my preposition. If those paragraphs are same to my preposition, then it's a bingo. Correct.
Correct.
If those paragraphs are different, then it's a failure. So you have to do this
Hmm.
practice also to have such product cases. So that's why the judge said that it creates a frictional case and all.
Even
Yes.
they understand what is. We have a lot of reliance on AI. Okay, all right. So the
Yeah.
last descriptive question to you: if a young lawyer, let's say, I come to you and I say that, sir, I want to build a current commercial litigation, banking, insolvency, regulatory work. What is one very important skill that you would say that Arpit, this skill you must have if you want to pursue a career in commercial litigation?
Majorly, Arpit, if I tell you about the particular thing, पहली बात तो आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि सबसे पहले आपके पास ड्राफ्ट्स होने चाहिए सारे फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल राइट कि 138 में क्या ड्राफ्ट होता है कैसे प्रोसीजर वर्क करता है एक तो मंत्रा याद होना चाहिए आपको अगर कमर्शियल लिटिगेशन करनी है 138 के लिए 15 सॉरी 15 कमर्शियल लिटिगेशन के लिए याद होना चाहिए प्री इंस्टीट्यूशन मीडिएशन देन कमर्शियल कोर्ट दैट्स इट
Okay.
ये आपको दो मंत्राज याद होने चाहिए फॉर 130 एंड फॉर द कमर्शियल बाकी चीजें आप नॉर्मली साथ साथ करके करते हो व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड माय लॉ करियर because if I tell you in the mid of that I also done independent practice too. So I was knowing some things, some theoretical knowledge, right? But practical knowledge was very different from that. From the firm work also, because most of the work are done by the clerks, right? In the legal firm and everything, which I have worked. I have given that work to the clerk. When it came to my end that I have to do those work because I am independent lawyer now. So that create me a difficulty and from that difficulty I have started asking from the staff from the other people that how things will work. Please guide me how I can work on that. Right?
Okay.
How you have to give the PF example, small things, how I have to give the PF, what is Roznama, right? How to attach this with your notice or something. There are a lot of things. I believe that clerks are the major persons who do a lot of things, right? So
I
those
agree.
things
I
that are
agree.
independent. If you want to become an independent lawyer, then you
Yeah.
have to be very kind of intellect to know such things because these
Okay.
things are minor but creates a kind of a major crux of the practice, major area of the practice. These
Hmm.
things, Roznama, how to file a PF, how to anything in law, the major litigation thing, the basic litigation, in the backends, we have to very vigilant with that, and we have to very ready for that. How these things work. So
I agree.
that's these three things. That's it.
Absolutely. All right. Listen, we'll conclude this thing with a few rapid fires with you. I don't want you to give explainer of these questions, just two to
Correct,
three
correct.
words
I will
answer.
not
Answer
explain.
exactly. So, first one area of commercial law you think is badly under litigated in India, and you think that there should be more disputes in that particular area.
Majorly technology law, if I tell
All
you.
right. Fine.
Yeah.
One reform, procedural, institutional, or substantive that you think that it would do the most justice to reduce commercial litigation disputes in the country. Out of these three, which one would you prefer?
One reform. I can say one reform. So major reform is to give a free hand to the banks.
Okay. And
Right.
out of being procedural, institutional, and substantive?
Procedure is like majorly you can create more over more things as pre-institution mediation.
Correct. Okay. Fine.
Yes, you can
Last
add more
rapid.
things.
All right.
Yeah.
Last rapid fire. DRT or NCLT for a contested recovery. Which forum would you prefer?
DRT.
All right. And
DRT
if
is
I may
little
ask the
fast.
reason?
DRT is little fast than the NCLT, if I tell you.
Okay.
DRT has
Okay.
judges which are very soft in nature, but NCLT has more over two division
Hmm.
bench and very hard judges.
Okay.
Normally.
Looks
Not
like epic.
criticizing, but yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. All right. That's it, Piyush sir. This has, of course, been a genuinely different conversation that platforms don't usually cater to. I would like to thank you for bringing both practical exposure and bringing the aspect to a bigger picture. And to our viewers, thank you so much for joining like every time to this podcast. If you found this conversation meaningful, share it with at least one person who actually needs it. And until we meet next time, keep knowing your rights, be aware of your rights. See you in the very next podcast. Thank you, Pius, sir, for joining us.
Thank you, Arpit. Thank you, Arpit. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you.